First off, thank you for looking at this channel. If you are not subscribed, take a second and hit that subscribe. I really appreciate it. What we are talking about today is Daddy Dave and how his car is all steel with a VIN, but not everyone you think is really all steel with a VIN at No Preps. Let's check it out.
I don't watch No Prep Kings. I actually watched my first episode last night, and of course it was the one with the whole Kai Kelly deal. So, of course, there's a lot of controversy behind that whole deal. So, everybody knows Wiley. He's Flashlight started how many races?
A lot.
A lot of races. Outlaw Armageddon, Ozark, Kansas. He's done a lot of no prep flashlight starts. Does it work?
Yes.
How much controversy do you have?
The last one we just did, we had one.
One controversy.
I think that was it.
And was it disputed? Was it good? Was it?
It was disputed, and Mark and them caught it. I didn't catch it because I turned to look at the other car. That's why the camera was there. And Mark and Jesse watched it, and they're the ones that told me that he bumped twice after I stopped him. So, pretty simple. They went back and looked at the tape, and he rolled twice. So, he was out. Okay. He was mad. He's from Texas. I don't even know who he was.
But they're not using the beams neither, are they?
They're not using the beams.
Okay. So what would be your honest opinion on using the stage, and then flashlight start?
I think Limpy has actually done that, and didn't race. I think they've actually done that before. Used the beams, but did a flat. That stages the cars, and then he turned the light on. You can still use the timing system,
right? So you have the wind lights at the finish line.
Yeah, right. That could work. I'm pretty sure Limpy done that.
Okay.
And
Limpy's an innovator. Like,
I'm pretty sure he was the first to do that.
He was the first to do cash days. He invented that deal. So Limpy's an innovator. We love you, Limpy. We really do. So that was my deal. Like the whole screwing the green bulb and then amber, and then after the green bulb, you're supposed to wait 4/10 to take off.
If that's what they had the tree set for.
Right. Or else you go red. Okay. You got to be a hell of a man to sit there when the green light comes on and wait. It just don't happen. I can't do it. That's why we go off a flashlight and with a camera, so it can tell if you jumped. I think it should all go to that. A flashlight start with a camera on the back tires of the car. That would kill it all, wouldn't it? You ain't got to worry about 4/10 or someone sneaking up into the tower and turning the system to 3/10 Pro Tree versus 4/10 Pro Tree.
Because there's a 5/10, because I run, I run in, they run a 5/10 Pro Tree versus 4/10.
Most computer systems you can change. You can do whatever you want with them. Most systems, most tracks have those, but a few of them don't. So this guy said he's colorblind. Just when it lights up, it don't matter what color it is, just leave.
Yeah, the bottom light.
The bottom light. When the bottom light comes on, just leave. So that was my whole deal about the whole flashlight thing, and the instant green should be instant green. You shouldn't go red. Never, ever, ever should you go
Unless
red
you just
on an instant green. Now, granted, I guess they talked about it before the race, and they all agreed to run that type of tree. Y'all are idiots. Like, you need to be hitting the head with tack hammers.
Yeah, if they all talked about it, then...
Instant green is instant green, though. When the light comes on, you leave. Most people do that. I'm not programmed to wait.
Right.
Are you programmed to wait?
No.
I couldn't wait. There's no friggin' way.
But like you said, if Kai knew about that kind of deal, then he shouldn't...
They all agreed on it, I guess. I wasn't there.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
But they all agreed on it, and they all ran the same tree. And, of course, that happened.
Wasn't there some other red lights, too, in that deal? I thought somebody...
Where was that? San Antonio, right?
I don't know.
That was San Antonio. And then in South Carolina, they switched the tree. And it supposedly cured the whole problem.
Well, I noticed the last one was in the very bottom, wasn't it? Or was it the race before? I don't know.
No, that's where it was supposed to be.
Okay.
In the green slot.
Okay.
So you don't see none of the ambers. or nothing. It's
Right.
not in an amber hole, and then of course your red light when you leave on that. So is that fair
I'm a
conclusion?
flashlight guy. I like flashlight stuff.
Let's
because
go to
it's-
flashlight with cameras.
I'm a flashlight guy.
That's what we do on the
If
street.
you're trying to imitate a street deal,
There you go.
then it's a flashlight start.
There you go.
If you want track stuff, then
Go to track every
You might-
weekend. There's a race somewhere in every track, and they have rules, they have regulations, they have tech, they have all that stuff that you abide by, and you run off a sportsman tree or a pro tree or a bracket tree, whatever you want to run off of. They'll have it, I promise, at a track event. The no prep is supposed to simulate street stuff,
Right.
And we flashlight start on the street. Period.
or arm drop, either way.
Or arm drop. We don't arm drop. Some people arm drop. If you want to hustle people, you arm drop. My theory.
Yeah, because it's hard to guess.
But this guy said
A
chase is
flashlight.
a race. No, chase
No.
is not a race. Chase is
Some
not
places,
a race. Some places.
some places they are.
Wrong show though. Wrong show. Go to the other show. They have that hustle. Some guys get to rerun though. Yeah. Some guys did get to rerun. It's pretty easy. Like you either red lit or you didn't, or you jumped or you didn't. There's no re-race. Just run an instant green with no waiting. And there you go. And the problem with the instant green is people
Yes.
guess it, but you can guess on a flashlight, you can guess on an arm drop, you can guess on anything.
You can guess on anything,
You can guess on anything.
but there's more.
An instant green with no ambers is basically a pro tree. Like David Bird Jones, for instance, that kid is a bracket racing fool, and he knows a tree. So he knows that green light, after staging so many hundreds or thousands, that green light's going to come on, and David Bird Jones would probably nail it 8 out of 10 times. So that's the problem with the whole instant green thing. Flashlight,
You don't
it's
have that
never-
rollout.
It's never consistent.
I mean, you have a rollout.
yes, yep.
On a flashlight, there's no rollout. If
No
you're watching
rollout.
the back tire can crack before the light comes on.
Any-
on instant green.
Absolutely. Any kind of tree at the track, you have rollout before you red light. That's the problem. So you can guess it, and you got a little bit of forgiveness there, and in the whole rollout thing. So most people guess it because they take that into equation, and of course they get a big head start. I did it to Megalodon. I've beat Megalodon once in my life, and I on purpose told Megalodon, look, I'm going to go red, just so you know. Well, we both staged. I remembered I was supposed to go red, and I let go of the button, and it just happened to turn green about the same time. So that's the only reason I beat Megalodon. Sorry about that. That was producer.
And you guessed on Kayla one time.
I did guess on Kayla, on American Outlaw,
Yep.
down in Ennis. I guessed on her,
Put 2 on her out of the hole. It was
and she drove around me.
a pretty good guess.
And
I
she
thought it
drove
was,
around me.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened too.
That happened. Which brings us to the second subject. So that's my deal on instant green. That shit should be out the window. Gone. Flashlight, cameras.
You can still, if they want to use the timing system, use the
Right.
stage and use the wind light, but
Yep.
use a flashlight start.
Yep, that's my deal. Flashlight start, cameras, use the timing system to stage them. That's again, this is just my opinion and Wiley's opinion, which means not
Nothing.
a damn
Yeah.
thing.
Especially from me.
Yeah,
Don't mean
because
nothing.
I haven't participated in a no prep race because
Actually,
Larson.
you were last
I was at one.
last week.
Oh, it showed me at one last week.
No,
I went
saw
to
you.
Tucson.
No, I'm talking about you physically went to one.
Oh, I did go to no prep. Yes.
Yeah.
What was it? Conquer the Concrete.
Conquer the Concrete.
But yeah,
That's flashlight start.
that was flashlight start. It was. It was a flashlight start. But I went to Memphis, no prep Kings thing, and I haven't been to another one for several reasons. One, me and my car. Larson had my
yeah,
car.
you didn't have a car.
Larson had my car, and he was busy racing no prep
Yeah.
Kings. Thanks, Larry.
So that's
Anyways,
not really me.
hopefully we'll try to be, if it's still around, we'll come to a few this year. Now, here's a touchy subject.
What's this one?
VIN numbers.
Oh, yeah.
what is your outcome on VIN number cars? Steel roof, steel quarters, VIN number. What should that be?
Street car. I think if it has a VIN number, it should have a tag on the back of it. I think it should, if it's a street car. My personal opinion. But that's what it should be.
That's it?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty simple. I mean, if it come
That's
out with
easily
a VIN,
done, though.
it come out with a VIN number, and it has steel roof, steel quarters, it should be legal.
Yep. There's a great
Now you
area.
can't. Now you can't. Some people do this. I hear that they have a fiberglass car and they put steel skins on it. Never personally seen it myself, but I've heard that happens.
I've seen it on a few occasions, and everyone that watched the episode South Carolina, No Prep Kings, if anybody watched that episode, and I'm not picking on nobody, I just happened to see it with my own eyes, and I was kind of floored that that car was allowed back in. And if you watch that episode, you will see the car I'm talking about.
My phone will probably ring now.
Yeah, probably. I fucking hit the FU button. My theory, just again, my theory on steel roof, steel quarter cars, VIN cars, that shit should have been from the factory. I get you got to replace panels, but like the rocker panel, the door jamb panel, the panel that your factory hinges bolt to, all that stuff should be as it went down the assembly line in Detroit at one time or another. My car is a perfect example, and I'm not doing this just because my car fits that rule, but I'll just show you.
There's a lot of cars.
Hang on, I'm gonna flip this around.
I am calling this the start of the Steel Body VIN number challenge.
There's a lot of cars around, fiberglass cars with panels screwed on them, glued to them, however, attached to a fiberglass body. That shit is dumb. And Reaper is one of them. Okay, so this right here, that's the rocker. That shit's steel. This is where the door jamb is. Steel. And look, there's my VIN number. Same place that Detroit put it. Steel. All my stuff is steel.
Give me a dash.
Look, factory steel dash.
Even doors.
Even the doors. There's no panel glued anywhere. You can stick it any freaking where you want. And that magnet will stick. Because it's a real car that came from Detroit. Oh. There you go. The Malibu, the same way. All the...
What do you think? Should we make this a Steel Body challenge for all the racers? Share if you agree and think we should.
All the door jambs, the rockers, everything is steel. Even the VIN number up by the windshield where they put it still has the rivets in it that came from Detroit. Like, that shit's legit. Taking your car that had a fiberglass body on it, pulling the fiberglass body off and putting a steel body on it, I don't think those cars should be allowed, period. Any of them. Reapers included. That car's got a fiberglass body and he don't hide it. The Probe is the same way. The 55. Who else? Like, it's 2018, we can name names.
I don't know. I don't pay much attention to them.
There's a bunch of cars.
I just turn the flashlight on.
There's a bunch of cars that are like that, and I think it's bullshit. Like, you can't glue a steel panel on a fiberglass body and then go to the salvage yard and get a VIN number and cram it off into the car somewhere and say, hey, I'm legal. That's bullshit. Somewhere down the line, there needs to be some integrity, there needs to be rules, and there needs to be people that enforce those rules. And if you don't fit the rules, or you piss and moan about it and your car don't fit it, bye. Like, there's 10,000 other racers that'll jump in your spot in a heartbeat.
There's plenty of cars that fit those rules.
Plenty of cars. And again, that's just my opinion, my theories. My car fits it. I have a bolt-on front clip that you can get for any Chevy 2, just like a Camaro that bolts on. So my car could be considered a back half car because it has a bolt-on front end, and it's all steel.
Well, they should have a different class for fiberglass bodies, I guess. I don't know what, or how.
Yeah, but they don't.
But they, I mean,
like they have this class called no prep, and
well,
they have a set of rules that, and with gray areas. Like,
yeah,
gray areas are bullshit. They should be black and white. That's it. There's no gray areas. If your shit didn't come from Detroit or wherever it was manufactured with a VIN number in the same location it was, go build another car. My theory. I'm pretty salty about the whole Pro Mod shit and the stretched front ends, and that my wheelbase is stretched 1.5 inches from factory, but my front end, it's pug nose just like it was from the factory. Like, it's this big. So I got beat. When did I get beat? When was that no prep?
no,
It was last week.
by
I mean, I put the picture out there. I got beat by this much from a stretched front end car. Like, if it had the factory Camaro front end on it, or if he had the car that he has 2 cars. If he had a car that fit that class and was racing it, I'd have beat him all day long. Or if he had a factory front end, he would have got beat. But he had a stretched out one. So I'm kind of salty about this whole subject. If you want to race in a class, build the car for the class. Don't rig your shit together and glue panels on it. That's ridiculous.
well, I think there's so many different people runs different races that everybody has to have the same rules. And I think people let other people in, so I don't know. There's got to be somebody in charge of the rules.
There has to be.
And stick to those rules, no gray areas.
And as much as it sucks, sooner or later they got to put weights in there. Weight for everybody. Like, everybody needs to add weight, or if the class requires you to be so much and you're heavy, you can take weight off your car, whatever. But I'm telling you, Birdman, as light as that car is and the power he makes, it's going to be really, really hard to beat that man. And I think everybody found out, or is finding out. 2,400 pounds with a twin turbo Hemi, it's going to be hard to outrun. So, and it sucks to put weight on it and a bunch of rules, because that turns it into a class. But you can go to the track and race any class, any weekend. That sucks, but sooner or later they're going to have to no prep, which means no prep. No dragging, none of the crap that I've seen. It's got to be a true no prep, flashlight start, and real cars, not some pieced together Pro stock, Pro Mod car that you glued panels on. It's ridiculous. Steven, tell your wife she's awesome. He said my wife bought me a Goliath hoodie and everybody in the shop loves it. Can you run the fin on the front of yours? Like, at that particular race, Jeff, no, we couldn't. It was in the driver's meeting, in the rules, no extenders allowed.
There was a couple of cars that had them.
But they took them off. Right? I hope.
I think Boost 12 was still on his.
Well, at that particular race, they said no extenders.
I think Ryan took his off. Maybe.
Ryan did take his off. But, like, you put an extender, that's crazy. Sean Wilhoit's car. I can measure his from his center line of his front wheel to the tip of his, and then make an extender the same length, and, you know, people would trip over it. It'd have to be that long. No more prep that pulls your shoes off. Yes, I agree.
The last one we just had didn't do that.
Right, because it was true no prep. Careful, Dave. Pilgrim will shut you down. Podcast. It's not a podcast, and it's nothing. I'm not bashing No Prep Kings by no means. I'm not bashing our show. I'm just voicing my opinion that some of the cars that get allowed into those races shouldn't be. That's ridiculous. There are gray areas in the rule, and there should be no gray areas. It's black and white. That's it. Hi, Kirk Peters. We're talking about you.
Kurt likes Fireball.
Kurt does like Fireball. Will Reaper ever get to number 5? I don't know. What about the Fireball? Fireball is a good... I mean, that car is legit. It's within wheelbase rules. It is steel roof, steel quarters.
Steel, everything.
Steel rockers, all that stuff. It has the VIN in the location. Now, that car is heavy. I promise you, Birdman's got at least 400 pounds lighter than Ryan is. Ryan's car's heavy. Ryan's car makes a ton of power, and it hauls ass. But you know, he's a car or two behind Birdman, and if you drag race, you know what half a car to 2 cars is on the big end. You know, that's a few numbers. So Ryan's got his problems just like the rest of us got, but his car is legal, it's legit, and yeah, he fits the rules. I'm just bitching about the ones that don't fit the rules, that kind of sneak in.
And those people know who they are.
Yeah, no rules. Grudge racing needs rules.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Reaper needs off the list. What? What's I saying? Do you think it may have something to do with TV ratings? I don't understand. No, the TV ratings are great. No Prep Kings, their ratings are phenomenal. They're doing really good. They're climbing every week.
It would be...
It's got nothing to do with the ratings.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
That's a good, my opinion, it's a good show. It's just like they should have rules that everybody goes by, I think.
There has to be integrity there somewhere. Like, there's not. And there's nobody to enforce the rules. There's nobody to tech the rules. I did go to Tucson. I watched that event. Good event. It was a great time. But, there you go. Tony Rizzi. What about Doc? Doc's the same way. Doc's steel roof, steel quarters. I believe all his door jambs are steel. Actually, I'm pretty sure they are. Like, I know they are. He's had that car for God ever.
Yeah.
Kyle Buckmaster. Hi, Kyle. Keep changing them rules. See, Mike, that's what don't need to happen. They need to put a set of rules in effect and keep them and enforce them. And someone have the balls to say, look, your car don't fit.
Yeah.
You got to go. Or go build another car, or come back when they do fit. Something like that. Somebody has to stand up for it, and there's not.
I guarantee you, that one car that don't fit, there's 10 cars that do fit.
Promise.
So, then that guy.
Oh, there's Tyler.
Tyler. So.
He was probably watching coming down the road.
Yeah, he's still watching. Look.
He is. Get off your phone, stupid! He's just a big goofy ass. My 16.3 Impala, glass doors, weighs 33 pounds each. Wiley said stupid. Kurt, we're talking about you. We're talking about VIN cars, steel roof, steel quarter, VIN cars, we glued panels on so a magnet would stick cars. That's what we're talking about. And we're talking about great starts, like use a tree, don't use a tree, flashlight start, use the beams, so we have a wind light. But the beams you could use front tire.
Yeah, if you go with the tire.
With no extenders, so it will read the front tire on the big end. Right? That's the problem. Wiley lines up off the front bumper.
I line
and they
up
call it off the front bumper.
The front.
So if you use the beams, it'll line up off the tire.
Yeah. And it'll go off.
So it'll have to go off the tire at the big end with no extenders on, because they're cheating.
Well, that goes back to the wheelbase thing, don't it? Like Ryan's front end shorter than.
Well, that's why they put extenders on. Like, I guarantee I have the shortest front end out there. I promise you. But those are my problems.
No, there's a couple cars I lined off their front tire because they have no front end. Like what was that? That blue Nightmare.
Yeah.
He has no front end.
I can't read big paragraphs, guys. Sorry.
I can't read it all because I can't see it.
Jesus. And I want you to drive my car. What are you doing? We're
just
not
hanging
on TV.
out.
We're on Facebook land.
I'm just hanging out.
I'm sure I'm pissing a lot of people off. Hey, I'm just saying what everybody else is thinking that won't say it. Like, it's ridiculous.
Right. But there's plenty of cars that fit the rules. That would fit those rules, that have VIN full cars that would be legal.
That would gladly take the place of someone that's illegal. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Especially because there's a lot of camera chasers out there. They want to be on TV. If their cars fit, come on. If your car don't fit, go build one that does.
And those people that have those cars probably have the money to build the right car.
They should have built the right car.
Well, back then it didn't. It didn't
You're
matter at that time.
But look how many new cars have come out in the last 6 months or even a year. Look how many new cars have come out that these people are having to glue panels on.
Right.
You know, because there was never a set of rules put into play and enforced. My theory, again, I'm nobody. I don't participate in the no prep, or I haven't. I do no prep. I haven't participated in that particular series.
Because you haven't had a car.
Because I haven't had a car, and
Wasn't you going to go to one?
I was, and I was told
Not to go.
I was told I wasn't going to be allowed to race, or I had to race my way in. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to race my way into something I helped pave the way to, and that's just my theory and my feelings.
As always, thank you for looking at full video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to share this video, and let's start a still body challenge, because we all like to see street cars street race, right? Alright. Oh yeah, first person to get 25 likes on a comment gets a free $25. Thanks again.